Okay. Just need to not eat this for the next 90 days. Then I'll reach my goal, and then I'll be done.
Corey loves Oreos. She takes them everywhere she goes. The best cookie everybody knows. Corey loves Oreos. Corey loves Oreos. She thinks about them night and day. The best cookie in every way. Corey loves Oreos. Corey loves Oreos. The chocolate cookie, the creamy core. She always wants
90 days, and I barely even thought about Oreos. Okay, let's see what happened.
Oreos. She takes them everywhere she goes.
Yes, hit my goal weight.
Everybody knows Corey loves Oreos.
There's no way I'm gonna fall off this diet.
She thinks about them night and day. The best cookie in
Well, I guess at least I made it 90 days.
Oreos. Corey loves Oreos.
And that's one of the biggest pitfalls sabotaging our diet and our success. We go in thinking we'll do something short term to then go back to the lifestyle we want, the habits we had before. But that's not how things work. You can't do one thing to reach your goals, then go back to what you were doing before and expect not to lose all of your progress. If you want lasting results, you have to actually change your habits and build, yes, a new lifestyle. Yet, so often how we approach making changes doesn't allow us to create new habits. We do think of it as going on a diet instead of adjusting our diet. And because we have this short-term focus, often we jump to doing more, which means restriction. It also means overwhelming ourselves with changes we often can't maintain. Changes that sometimes stop us from even starting and definitely stop us from sticking with anything long-term. Changes that make us feel like we just don't have the willpower or self-control to ever see results. And this all is caused by this pressure we feel to hit some ideal, over-assessing our current lifestyle, and making habit swaps that would meet us where we're at currently. But why does this happen? I think it's because we have been brainwashed to believe that dieting has to mean restriction. We're also constantly bombarded by all of these ideal diets and made to feel less than when we can't hit someone else's arbitrary standards of clean. I see it when clients try to follow some Fitfluencer's standard of clean eating. Heck, I kept myself stuck, never seeing the body recomp I wanted, constantly losing the weight only to regain it when my motivation and willpower ran out. Because I was trying to force myself to fit a clean eating mold. A diet that's so different from our own, it seems impossible and even miserable to maintain. But we see this as what we should do, what we need to do to see results. So we start to try to make all of these changes. We adjust our meal timings, making ourselves stare at the clock, fantasizing about our next meal. We force feed ourselves bland meals that lead to us feeling like we just gotta make it through it till we lose the weight. Then we can go back to eating tasty things again. We restrict all the foods we love till we can't take it any longer. And we go devour the whole pint of ice cream and bag of chips, giving ourselves a food baby. And then we think, I'll never see results. I'll just have to start over Monday. Only Monday doesn't happen for a few more weeks. Instead, we yo-yo back up, not only regaining the weight, but often more. And in the process, we often negatively impact our metabolic health. But honestly, what's worse than the weight we've gained is the mindset we've now created. Each negative experience, each time we feel miserable doing what we feel we should, we become more mentally set against the healthy changes we feel we need. Think about tracking macros, for instance. So many of us feel tracking is restrictive, but it's because of how we've always used the tool in the past. When most of us have first tracked our food, we've eliminated whole food groups. We've starved ourselves, slashing our calories super low. We've restricted foods we love. We've made ourselves miserable. We felt judged and deprived. So of course, now thinking about tracking to hold yourself accountable or make changes sounds absolutely miserable. And we think that tracking is restrictive. But the tracker wasn't judging. It didn't make us make those changes. We chose to make those changes and adjustments. The tracker is now just associated with those feelings, which makes it harder to use again. So now you have to find ways to separate out the tools from the improper implementation in the past. And this is why one of the most important things you can do for yourself if you want to avoid sabotaging your diet is to track what you're currently doing. And do this without making any changes. If we want to make changes to our nutrition and see not only the results we deserve, but lasting changes, we need to truly understand where we're starting from. Not only does logging without making any changes help us realize that tracking our food isn't restrictive, so that we can regain power to use this tool and shift our mindsets. But getting this clear picture of where we're starting from allows us to make habit changes that meet us where we're at. Too often, we try to just force ourselves into a dieting mold, with no thought as to how those habits will fit long term. And while not every change we make will feel sustainable, especially to start, we do want to do as much as possible to reduce the pain of change. I say pain because change can cause mental pushback, and the pain of staying stuck has to outweigh the pain of change. It's why when we get that initial motivation to make changes after realizing nothing in our closet fits, we're willing to make more sacrifices. However, those sacrifices are often short-lived when the motivation fades. And unfortunately, we can't just manifest motivation whenever we want. So since we often can't make the pain of staying stuck greater, we have to find ways to reduce the pain of change. That means we have to make the habit changes easier. Because what feels easy and comfortable and sustainable is just what we've always done. But too much discomfort in the changes will make us run back to our comfort zone. It's why at some point when we try to force all of these clean eating standards on ourselves, we often hit the hard we can no longer handle, and we say forget it and give up. So instead of repeating the same pattern, track what you're currently doing. Get an accurate picture of your lifestyle. Then make one small swap, a change that almost feels too easy. From here, you can build. Sure, maybe ideally you'd like to be eating lean protein sources and vegetables at every meal. But if right now you're having pizza or takeout for most meals and vegetables don't even seem to exist in your diet, instead of forcing yourself to choke down salads and steamed broccoli at every meal, just add a side salad with your pizza. I know someone in the comment section is probably getting mad about this, but too often we sabotage our success by not building from where we're at currently. If you want to get to your goal, your destination, you need to set your current location in your GPS. That's the only way to map out the route and start moving forward. Same thing goes for your diet changes. So stop worrying about some ideal. Stop restricting yourself and making so many dietary changes you can't maintain them, and you're powering your way through a 21-day or 6-week fix only to fall back into old habits. Instead, get that accurate picture of what your lifestyle is and make one change that feels almost painless. This will help you stack more and more habits on it to move forward. Because the more you do, the more you do. But you have to be able to take that first step and adjust your diet, instead of repeating the same pattern, going on a diet only to fall off.